Hey, Keith and Gustavo over at Seriously Strong Training. Today we're going to be teaching you how to do a low bar squat to a box. There are different variations or different ways to use a box when you're doing these low bar squats. There is a variation where you can actually sit down. This is much more of a Louis Simmons West Side barbell type variation. We're not doing that today because when we do box squats at our gym, typically it's to teach somebody how to low bar squat without the box. So we use the box as a height limiter, right? Because once you have good squat mechanics down, learned somewhere and maybe in the goblet squat, right? You learn how to keep your shoulders down and back. You learn what a good stance is for you, how to keep your knees, pushed out nice and wide, how to keep your core engaged and good thoracic extension throughout the movement. You need to start learning how to do that with a barbell. Now, you need to learn how to do it with a barbell, at a high position first before you worry about getting, all the way down to parallel or acid grass or something like that. So today, we've got our box set nice and high, about 20 inches. We've already got our rack set up for Gustavo here. He's gonna go ahead and hop under that bar, and he's gonna step back to the box. Now, when we're getting set up with this box, he's gonna get his heels at the corners of the box. So he's gonna come all the way back till he's touching it. His knees are gonna be nice and wide. He's got good thoracic extension here. And he's gonna sit down nice and slowly. What he's not gonna do is transfer his weight to the box. So we're using it as just a limiter here, right? This is saying, hey, don't go any lower than this position. Now come back up. His knees are staying nice and wide as he's going through this. And I want you to say, look how high we are here, right? His hip crease, the top of his knee. Typically when we're doing a great low bar squat, someone who's really good at the movement, we're gonna try to get down to these things are about parallel, and we're gonna work our way down there. But for now, we wanna start here. We wanna make sure that at the beginning of a low bar squat motion, he's able to check all the boxes that we wanna check. We wanna make sure that he's able to keep his back nice and tight, thoracic extension, shoulders are down and back, his knees are staying nice and wide. It's a little hard to see from your angle, but when I'm saying knees nice and wide, I'm saying his knees are pointing out to his pinky toes, right? So as he goes down, that stays wide versus maybe crashing in. So when we have the box nice and high like that, we're able to look at those little things. So go ahead and give me another one, Gustavo. I'm looking at the back. I'm looking at the knees, right? I'm looking at the feet here too, making sure that it stays planted the whole time, the heels don't lift or his weight doesn't shift to the inside of the foot, and he's gonna come back up. So Gustavo looks great here. Of course he does. He's a phenomenal squatter. So we're gonna go from 20 inches now down to 18. We're gonna work our way down nice and slowly. Go ahead, give me another one. Perfect, right? Thoracic extension, knees are wide, feet are planted. Remember, he's not putting his weight on the box. We're using it as a limiter because when you're doing it without the box, you can't rely on the box to take the weight from you, right? So you want to learn how to master this. You want to learn how to come down and just lightly graze the box, just barely touch it. I like to think about it as like settling on the box like a feather and then coming back up. Now at this point, as we're getting lower, if you have mobility restrictions, something like that, it's where you're gonna see this stuff start to come out, and you're gonna wanna say, okay, hey, I don't need to go any lower than that until I can address those things, until I can make sure, I'm good thoracic extension, knees are wide, feet are planted firmly. But Gustavo looks great here, so we're gonna go a little bit lower, down to 16 inches. Still looking good here. So that's how you're gonna do, a low bar squat to a box when you're using it as a tool to learn how to master the low bar squat. Without the box, start nice and high, work your way down slowly, make sure you're hitting all the good checkpoints of a great quality squat when you're working this movement.